Okay, so let me try to explain on how you can sketch this kind of question, whereby they're saying sketch the exponential function and determine its range and domain. So this has to be your exponential. If you've been given something like this, we call it as exponential. So let me try to find where to write down here. I think I can write it here. So I'll start by coming up with x or y plane. That is where I'm going to draw this kind of thing. So this has to be our x-axis, and this is going to be our y-axis actually. Okay, so based on the same question, it is written like this: y has to be equal to, we have a 2 plus 2, then power of, is it x, minus 3, yeah, something like that. So if we try to understand what is happening here, we have many parts, of which those same parts, they have different meanings. So the number which is located on this part represents the number of units we can move in the y-axis. Then whenever you want to find the number of units that you can take in the x-axis, we always equate this thing to 0 and find the value of x. So we're going to start by that. I'll say x minus 3 equal to 0, and x is going to be equal to what? X has to be equal to 3. Okay, so since we are saying this one represents the number of units in the y, at the same time we consider this one to be our horizontal asymptote. And then since we are saying this one represents the number of units under exponential, we only have horizontal asymptote. And then if you are dealing with logs, we are going to find that it will give you something like the vertical asymptote. So even if this is an exponential, it will have the horizontal asymptote and then the number of movement in where? In the x-axis, based on what you are from getting on this part. So meaning that the graph we are going to draw, it has to shift 3 units to the right hand side, because x here is equal to a positive sign. Then this graph must have the horizontal asymptote where where y is equal to what? Where y is equal to 2. So your graph is going to come, it must have the horizontal asymptote on this part, and this horizontal asymptote has to cross on the part where y, let me try to grab this, where y, so say y here is equal to 2. So we understand that if you check properly, the base which is located on this part, on the part of exponential, is above 2. Your base there is above 2. So since this base is above 2, no need of struggling. All what we need to do is, we are going to start our graph from the left hand side. It has to make a 10 on the part where x is equal to 3, meaning that that same corner is the one which shows the number of units you've moved. So my graph is going to start from this part. It has to be something which is going to start like this, then it will go like this. The moment you reach on this part, it has to start making a 10, and it will face in that given direction. So on the point where it makes a corner somewhere here, it shows that you have moved 3 units in the x-axis, and actually this is going to be y equal to, you have your 2 there, say plus 2 there, then x minus 3. Okay, try to finish this. Alright, so the way we find the domain, you always equate what is inside the brackets. We always take this one to be something which is going to be inside the brackets. So finding the domain, you say what is inside the brackets has to be equated to greater than 0, meaning that in this case your domain has to be, you say x. Let me remove this, let me try to erase that. Okay, so we're going to have x greater than 3. That has to be the domain. The range, you start from the horizontal asymptote going to the part where the graph is facing. So starting from this part going upwards, we are going to notice that this actually is going to be like this. So you even include the part which is the horizontal asymptote, meaning that your range in this case, you say y has to be greater than or equal to the horizontal asymptote, which is 2. That's how you sketch this kind of thing. Suppose this was to be less than 1. If the base is less than 1, your graph has to face in the opposite, meaning that it will start from the the right hand side, it will be moving upwards. So since this is above that, then your graph has to be like that. Note the horizontal asymptote and also where the graph must make a turn. That shows that you are moving a certain number of units. So that's how you answer this kind of question. Thank you very much.